with our derivative on this one, we have to use product rule and chain rule. So derivative of the first, we get 2 times x minus 5 to the first, times derivative of the inside is just 1, times the regular second function. Plus regular first function, so x minus 5 squared, times derivative of the second one, we're going to get 3 times 5 minus 2x squared, times derivative of the inside is negative 2. Well, we're going to need to figure out when this is equal to 0, so we're going to end up factoring this one. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and kind of clean up the second part. We can do the negative 2 times 3. That gives us a negative 6 out in front. And now we're looking to factor. So we're looking for things they have in common. So out of 2 and negative 6, we can factor out a 2. They both have an x minus 5 to a power. We can factor out the smaller one, so x minus 5 to the first. And they both have a 5 minus 2x to a power, so we can factor out the smaller degree, which is 5 minus 2x squared. So when we take this first one divided by this, the 2's cancel out, the x minus 5 cancel out, we're left with a 5 minus 2x. The second part, when we take that whole thing divided by this, we're going to get negative 3, and we take the negative 6 divided by 2, and then we have an x minus 5 left over. 5 minus 2x squared, so those cancel out. So I'm going to distribute and combine some like terms here. So this last part, negative 2x minus 3x, we get negative 5x. 5 plus 15, we get 20. So we can look at our critical values now. We're going to get x equals 5. X equals 5 halves, and x equals 4. So we end up with 3 critical values. So 5 halves, 4, and 5. So I'm going to use 0, 3, 4.5, and 6. Well, if I put 0 in here, this is always going to be positive. This one right here, 2 is always positive. This one right here that's squared, that's always going to be positive, right? Because we're going to square it. So the other ones are the ones I need to kind of look at. If I put 0 in here, I'm going to get a negative. 0 in here, we get a positive. So that gives us a negative for that interval. If I put 3 in, this is still negative here. Those are both positive. This one is still positive, right? So we end up with a negative again. So here, this is one that breaks that mold. It's not alternating. If I put 4.5 in here, this is still negative. But now this one becomes negative, which gives us a positive. And then the last one, if we put 6 in, this is going to be positive. This is positive. The whole thing is positive. I'm sorry, I lied. This last one's negative, so this one is negative. So it's increasing from 4 to 5 and decreasing on the other interval. So from negative infinity to 5 halves, 5 halves to 4, and from 5 to infinity.